I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much, Gunhild and Johan, for inviting me to be on the advisory board. And thank you, Barry Popkin, for doing half of my speech so I can save some time. I am here because I'm an environmentalist. In China, I'm actually known for my greening of China work, urbanization work, smart grid work, clean energy work, and that's what led me to the food conversation. As we have said many times in this conversation, food is the single largest source of greenhouse gas emissions. Since Barry did such a great job of talking about China stats, I'm just going to show you a few pictures. China, our kids are fat, and it's just in one generation. One of my friends, who's about 62 years old, during the Cultural Revolution, when she was 16, she was sent to the fields of Anhui from the city of Shanghai to farm the fields. And during those 8 years, she had really nothing much to eat except rice and a few vegetables. Every year, the government would give her a block of frozen eggs, so that their household could make egg dumplings for Chinese New Year. Communism, they weren't allowed to own chickens or pigs, so they couldn't really eat meat. Today, we've gone from famine to gluttony. 15% of our kids are pre-diabetic. That's terrible, especially since not everybody is obese or overweight. We get diabetes at a much lower BMI. One of the major driving forces of everything in China is urbanization. By 2030, we're going to have 900 million people in cities, 80% of our population. By 2025, 800 million of these people will be in the middle class. They are feeling really disconnected with nature. They are afraid to touch dirt, certainly children. Children are told that there's lions, tigers, and bears in the grass. So we've gone from these street stalls, which serve relatively healthy food, and wet markets, to these amazing, huge supermarkets filled with processed food. And skewers, again, fairly healthy, to 7-Eleven convenience foods. Even the rural kids are affected by this. It's not just an urban problem. The rural kids, for school, they get white rice, a little bit of vegetables, but if they get an allowance of 1 to 2 kwai, maybe 10 to 20 cents US dollars, they will spend it on processed foods that makes up for the lack of flavor in their school lunch. We've gone from slivers of meat to steaks, copying the Western way. So the planet can't possibly afford this. China, we have a very interesting culture, driven for academic excellence. What that means is parents don't encourage sports or even running during recess. So as Tim said so eloquently last night, we need a cultural change to change the entire food system. So I'm not going to keep complaining. I'm going to show you how we in China are going to make societal scale cultural change that begins with children of this generation, because healthier kids means a healthier planet. We are teaching right now kids to eat in a way that's good for them and good for the planet. We're teaching them that they can make a difference in the climate change conversation, even though they're just a kid. Because by eating healthier, they can be a food hero and a planet hero. So the challenge that we have in China and everywhere is that how do we engage these children to be interested in this conversation? How do we engage them everywhere, given that we have no formal food education? What we're doing with the New Way to Eat is teaching them how to enjoy real food, as Robert said, and be a smarter food consumer, with play-based learning that integrates for the first time in China nutrition and sustainability. There's 3 program components to this. The first one is we've reinvented the eating framework for kids in China. We have a comprehensive curriculum for primary school students across multiple subjects. And we, like Jamie Oliver did in the UK, we are introducing new school lunch recipes, initially with our partner Chartwells, across their 50 schools in China. Brett Rierson, who's the head of the World Food Program in China, calls this possibly the single most impactful intervention on children's health. And here's why. We start with play. We are trying to ignite their passion for real food. To love real food. We use Ocation to turn your expertise in this room, experts from around the world who are working with us, into everyday action. And this is the process that we use. It's a methodology for turning complex concepts into action. So teaching concepts, we did a very interesting workshop yesterday, and I asked some of you to try and go through this exercise. And it was surprisingly difficult to take a concept like sustainable sources of calcium and protein, or antibiotic overuse, or food waste, and turn it into a memorable meme that you might sing in a song, like express yourself or eat a rainbow every day. We also asked some of you to turn this into an activity, skin it on top of a game that you might have played in your childhood, or a song that you might sing as a nursery rhyme. Surprisingly difficult. We also are very strict on asking for something very specific, a consumer change in the kids. We tie the play to a specific ask. And then we think about what is the backdoor motivation in China that maybe they would get them interested in food, even if they're not interested in food directly. So I'm going to show you this process of turning all this expertise into kid speak. This is an excerpt of an actual report, one of the ones that we read doing our research. And that's not something that kids can understand, but they can understand language like, the way we grow food today hurts the earth. And if the earth is sick, people who live on earth get sick. We need good food to fuel our minds and bodies. So we need healthy earth to grow good food. They can understand that. We also did research on every single eating framework that we can get our hands on, and we realized that they're just too complex to apply. So we came up with food hero rules, simple to understand, like food fuels my mind and body, but quality food and exercise makes me healthy and happy, and I can make my world a better place by eating healthier. We also turned the pyramid into a Chinese round table, dining table with chopsticks and warm water, and we simply said, eat that good stuff first. Everything then will come in moderation. Damaging food includes heavy impact foods like beef, but also endangered species like, no shark's fin. We then went to experts and said, what are the top behavior changes you would like to see in children's diets? I only have time to show you one of these. So Jeff Sachs loves to talk about micronutrients. Johan talks about biodiversity. I like to talk about seed to fork, supply chain. We turned this into eat a rainbow every day. And we try to come up with activities that a teacher could include in all subjects across the classrooms. And we incorporate movement, active learning, so that they can really have fun while learning about Eat a Rainbow. Now this song is surprisingly addictive after you sing it 3 times like we made them do. We also make them touch the real food and guess if it's a fruit or vegetable, learn what it's called, put it on the rainbow, and of course everybody gets a sticker once the rainbow's completed. Drama class, we have the kids connect what the food makes them feel like.
Angry. Not zombie, angry.
So having fun. Now we use back doors also. English, surprisingly, can increase your salary potential by 3 times in China. So parents will spend enormous sums of money to teach their kids English. All of our exercises are based on foundational flashcards that are bilingual. These are the food literacy cards.
1, 2, 3, banana.
So whoever gets the most number of cards gets a sticker. So each teacher who basically we want to make this open source and for free all across China and hopefully around the world, gets a teacher activity card. They can scan the mobile phone, the QR code, and see the actual video instructional guide.
注意放到正确的卡上面啊。好
So we'll teach them the names, then we'll call out a particular food like carrot, and then whoever gets the card first wins. And this is very competitive, and it gets their adrenaline rushing. They love this game. Guess the vegetable, food literacy charades game. Another backdoor is food safety. A lot of you can't really comprehend how much food safety is an issue in China. This is pictures of fake meat, fake beef. We've had lamb that was not lamb, but fox and mink. We've had cardboard in our dumpling stuffing. We've had 18,000 pigs floating down my backdoor river because of a secondary market in expired pork. So food safety is driving parents to bring their kids to trusted multinational processed food companies. KFC is now the #1 franchise in China. But they're also really eager to learn about what's healthy food, healthier food. So I'm not going to go through all of these because we don't have time. But what I will say is that this turns out to be extremely well received, not just by the children, but also by the parents and the teachers. And it's because of this sense of mystery, magic, emotion, this sense of competitiveness. So the ultimate goal is to create, imagine a Dora the Explorer for food, to engage kids in every part of their universe. We want to work with the China Nutritional Framework that's being revised right now, and they're interested in including sustainability into it. We want to ban advertising for processed food to kids, which is entirely possible in China, which has already done experiments like banning the word luxury in real estate ads. So we are currently piloting with 94 million primary school children in China today. However, we would like to bring this to the world with the EAT Forum. So the idea is to go global with your help to tailor this to local contexts. So although I don't have time to go through everything, we do have a new report which we launched today or yesterday at this forum, and you can get it online at juice.org/eat. And Gunhild, I would love to present you with a Food Hero certificate. Thank you so much for doing everything that you do to bring all of us together.